Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is our first day on the ground in LA for E3 2018. If you're watching us live, you know we've had some technical hiccups.
And then some.
The Sony press conference ended a good, 2 hours ago. But we persevere. And here we are. I'm your host, Nick Henderson. I'm with Crispy.
Hello.
And Chris Davis.
Good morning, wherever you are.
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you're on the East Coast, I suppose that would be good morning at this point. We have a lot to talk about today. Before we do that, I just want to remind everybody that we are in LA all week long, or through Thursday, through the end of the show. We are going to be doing the show floor tomorrow for the first day. We've gotten all one press conference out of the way. Nintendo's is first thing in the morning. We were just talking about that a little bit before we hit record. Chris Davis, you had a thought you were saying about Nintendo?
I was just going to say, instead of watching Nintendo's presentation and commenting over it, let's just watch Devolver Digital's again.
Nope. I don't want to do that.
That was really good, though.
It was funny. I don't know if there was much meat to it, though.
There was plenty of meat.
We talked about that on last night's podcast. If you have not yet, our podcast covering Microsoft and Bethesda and Devolver Digital is live. It went up this morning on 4playernetwork.com. Check it out. There's a lot to dissect there, a lot to talk about. As there is a lot to talk about today. Oh my God, guys.
Oh God.
You're killing me. But yeah, we're going to get these podcasts up all week long. We're going to record at the end of, we're going to come back and record every night as we normally do. And like I said, tomorrow is the first day on the show floor. And there's a lot to be excited for. We have a lot of exciting appointments tomorrow. What are you doing, Crispy?
Just shut up! Don't listen to me.
You're trying to...
He's putting a Kamen Rider toy belt around his neck.
It doesn't. Oh, I thought this went in here. It doesn't. Okay, whatever.
Crispy's playing with toys.
I'll just hold it.
But yeah, so like I said, we're going to be covering E3 all week long. We've gotten almost all of the announcements out of the way. Nintendo's is tomorrow morning. We'll be doing live commentary of it before we head over to the show floor. And then tomorrow evening when we get home, we will, of course, record our impressions of everything we played and saw tomorrow. I know we have appointments for some big games like Dying Light 2 and the new game we're going to talk about in a bit from
Control.
Remedy. Control. We're going to see that tomorrow. Yeah, there's some exciting stuff.
Do you think it's a trilogy?
Dude,
what if the next entry is called Alt?
No,
The final entry is called Delete.
Don't even start making those jokes yet until we have reason to believe that's the case. Remedy doesn't do that. They don't do that, man. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We actually have a really handy spreadsheet that one of our lovely community members has been helping us put together, and I actually see some community members in there right now on the dock. So we're gonna kind of go down. Now, here's the thing. We've been traveling today. We flew out of Austin this morning. We actually missed the Square Enix and Ubisoft conference. Brad was, of course, kind enough to commentate those.
I'm a little scared to watch his actual commentary.
We missed him. We didn't get to check out his commentary. I heard there were some highlights. So what we really did is after we finished watching Sony, we kind of went back and caught the highlights of those.
Did he just make farting noises for the entirety of the Division presentation? Is that it?
No, but he did do a pretty good gag, I think, with the Splinter Cell sound.
Oh,
that's what I hear. That's what Chai was telling me.
Oh, great.
Which is pretty great. No. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go over some of these things. We're gonna do Sony last. There's not a whole lot to cover for Square Enix and Ubisoft. So if y'all are cool with this, I'm just gonna kind of run down the things that I know we've checked out. Square Enix related, which is not much.
Very limited.
Square Enix.
Just read the list.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
What's next?
Wait, are we just reading the
list? It's basically Lara Croft Predator Edition.
Guys.
What's the next item?
Wait, are we really moving on?
What's the next item, Nick?
Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood patch.
Okay, let's talk about that one.
We didn't watch that one.
We didn't watch it.
I'm going to give you my impression of what it might have been. I haven't seen anything about this.
I like this game
but
already.
Final Fantasy XIV, as we all know, is a very robust single-player RPG. Stormblood will be the 9th DLC pack to come out for it, which continues the story of Noctis and friends as they go to see how Chocobo nuggets are made.
Chocobo nuggets.
Yeah, it's like chicken nuggets, but in Final Fantasy.
Okay.
What's next?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Do we not want to say anything about this?
No, go ahead. What's up with Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
It looked like just more action.
I know,
even more action focused.
I know Brad would be upset with me if I did not mention the disappointment. I was really kind of holding out hope we would get a better look at the game and it would feel. Now here's the thing. they focus so much in the trailer for Shadow of the Tomb Raider on things that we personally here at 4Player are not particularly excited about.
Have seen too much of.
Too much of Lara murdering dudes and blowing stuff up. Not enough tomb raiding, but they did mention something. They did say something in the introduction of the game. The developer, I think the creative director, was talking about the game. He did mention they have the biggest like hub area of any Tomb Raider game they've made.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means exactly because I don't think either of them had particularly large hub areas.
Nice.
I mean, Rise had a pretty large hub area.
What was the hub area?
Nice
though?
and girthy hub.
It was the valley with the villagers.
Oh yeah, but I don't.
You did a lot of like climbing and
but like when I hear
slinging and things
hub,
like
I
that.
think I want something akin to like Uncharted Lost Legacy's hub, like the one chapter that was big and open, like where you branch off and do some exploration. Like to me, a village is not a hub. I mean, I suppose depending on how you look at it, it could be interpreted as a hub. But like,
in my opinion, a hub is like an area you continue to return to that has like item crafting and building stuff and things like that. It's meant for like tools to allow you to go on excursions to other places.
yes, and
but that's
that literally
not what,
sounds like a dictionary
that's
definition.
not what Uncharted Lost Legacy was.
Some of what you're describing is a hub, but not all hubs are that. I think the real lesson is that nobody knows what a hub is, or where they came from, or why they're here.
I will let everybody know that for whatever reason, Crispy's feeling particularly feisty tonight.
He really is.
He's really feisty.
The worst,
I'm
most
not.
smarmy comments.
I'm really tired.
Oh, so okay. Well, the good news for you, Crispy, who's very tired. We're actually all pretty tired. We've been traveling all day. But
It's been a day.
The good news is that there's not a whole lot to talk about. So let's keep moving on. I really hope we get to see some Shadow of the Tomb Raider maybe on the floor, and it maybe gives us a taste. Because I heard words like horror being thrown around when they had that press event. And people were talking about the game.
They've always said that. Like, oh, there's a bear out to get you. Oh, there's like a fucking leopard.
Dude, this takes place in like it's like Aztec culture, like ancient Aztec culture. You're trying to stop like a Mayan apocalypse, like that.
A Mayan apocalypse that you start.
Sure, there could be some cool shit happening there. I just want to see more of that, less stabby, kill the soldier dudes. I want to see less of that. Anyways, moving right along. There's a Crispy. This one's for you. You're gonna Mad Lib this one again. Final Fantasy 14 Monster Hunter crossover.
Oh,
we didn't watch
14?
this.
I thought it was a 15 crossover.
Nope.
I thought we were finally
14.
getting cars.
For whatever reason, they stepped back and started announcing content for Final Fantasy 14 again.
Well, I mean, all of the all of the crossovers and special events that they've done for Monster Hunter so far have just been, hey, here's cool armor that makes you look like other video game characters, and there's a special quest that's kind of obliquely related to some general theme having to do with the crossover. But I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is this like a monster?
It's like
Do you play
what it's
Monster Hunter?
probably going to be is like, so they have like special like timed quests, right?
Yeah.
They'll put one up and it's like available for a month or something, and then you can take it, and if you finish it, you unlock specific equipment that you can then craft in the blacksmith.
Gotcha.
So
this is
I imagine
specifically
for this it'll be Final Fantasy 14 themed stuff.
So specifically, this would be like, well, we probably shouldn't spend too much time talking about something we didn't really
Right.
see, but it is.
We're just guessing.
Yeah, we are.
I
just
don't know.
guessing
Maybe
that
it's a lot cooler than that.
The question I would ask is, how much cooler would the game be if you got a palico out of it?
I mean, you probably get some kind of palico equipment. They've had a lot of these special event things have added like palico gear.
You're talking about in Final Fantasy 14.
No,
You get Palico equipment.
no, in Monster Hunter.
Oh,
Are you talking about getting a
I'm just
palico
saying-
in 14?
Like, yeah, what if you get like palico stuff because the crossover?
No, that's absurd.
What?
I don't know, but like the palico stuff was, so like
People in
when
chat
they
are-
did.
Okay, so people in chat.
Wow. Yeah.
Rathalos? What is?
They're talking about a Rathalos being.
Oh,
in
it's
the
a
game.
monster. Okay, I have no idea. Yeah.
Is that the one with the puffy nose?
We're talking the other direction, I guess. So it's Monster Hunter stuff in Final Fantasy 14.
I mean, the thing is,
That's even.
it's a crossover, so I would imagine there's content.
Oh, they
from
showed a
either one.
palico in 14. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not entirely
My
surprising.
hype boner.
Moving right down the list, a couple more things we didn't. They showed more awesome adventures of Captain Spirit. We kind of talked a little bit about that.
They showed more.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we
Okay.
probably should watch that. But like I said, we're kind of skipping through some of the things that.
And it's
maybe the
also
big-
free in 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe the bigger things that we want to focus on. I think the big thing out of Square Enix was the announcement of Babylon Falls, which is a Platinum Games new IP. There's always something. Platinum always has something fairly exciting.
They're a factory.
Yeah, that Fall of Babylon, that looked dope.
It looked cool.
We gotta go back through that trailer again because there was a whole bunch of like text in there that they didn't spend any time on.
And it looked at first it gave me the impression that it was kind of like high fantasy, and then suddenly it took like a sci-fi like turn.
Didn't look like sci-fi to me.
Did it?
Yeah,
I don't think it
right?
did.
No, I didn't. No, I think you're.
I think you just see glowing things.
Yeah,
and
I
you
see
think,
like
and
lots
you think
of neon
sci-fi.
shit. I'm like, oh, it's sci-fi.
Neon.
Just because a blade glows doesn't make it a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I didn't say lightsaber. Could have been a beam katana.
We don't really know anything about this game except it looks cool and it's Platinum Games, which is
it might be co-op.
Usually a pretty safe
I mean, they
bet.
didn't. There's 4 characters kind of like silhouetted on the box or on the primary art, so I wouldn't be surprised. If this turns out to
somebody
be
was
some
saying
kind
something about like 4 chairs or something.
4 chairs? What do you mean?
I don't know. Never mind.
I don't know.
I'm just
the
making
trailer
that
doesn't
up.
really say a whole lot, so hopefully the thing is with E3, a lot of times even if you get like trailers that don't tell you much, you start to see like interviews and stuff and details kind of leak out outside of the actual stuff being on the show floor. We might start seeing some details about this game coming out later this week, so we'll return to that if any new details arise. Nier Automata Become as Gods edition for Xbox One confirmed. Guys,
cool.
I'm still shocked. I really had no idea this wasn't out on Xbox One already. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's the world I live in.
It's a port with all the DLC.
New Octopath Traveler trailer. That game continues to look
Shit,
dope.
I didn't see that.
We watched. I mean,
You guys watched it. I was busy working on the camera.
Octopath Traveler continues to look super cool. Super fly. I'm
Is it
so excited to play that
still
game.
Switch exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yes.
Damn it.
You should get a
Nintendo
Switch.
might have put a little money towards that.
No.
More Just Cause 4. We should probably watch the footage for that. There's
Can't
more
imagine.
Kingdom Hearts 3 footage. They show the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
That should actually look kind of cool.
I mean,
it looked kind of cool.
we not
there was like full on like pirate ship combat and shit.
Yeah, that was
like,
the biggest surprise.
And I mean, it looked like Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
almost, like-
So, are we not of the opinion that like everything they've shown for Kingdom Hearts looks kind of fucking cool?
well,
Y'all were screaming when they showed the gummy ship.
no, I know you guys.
Okay, nobody
No,
likes the
that
gummy
was-
ship. Nobody likes the goddamn gummy
The
ship.
gummy ship was like a cool idea. It was just a pain in the ass to deal with. But it was like a neat idea at the time when that game
Fair
came
enough.
out. Like that was like kind of like whoa, it just didn't really work that well. But if they like nailed that down, refined that whole mechanic, that could be really cool. I've never been a Kingdom Hearts guy. I don't know. You guys have a closer relationship with Square Enix and those kind of RPGs, so
I do enjoy
So,
Kingdom Hearts.
I've never been a Kingdom Hearts
And I'm
guy.
going to be replaying Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 before 3 drops.
I climbed the Hollow Bastion the first game and then realized I was underleveled. And I went all the way back down to level up. Then I came back and I realized I had to climb the whole thing again. Fuck that. I never played the game again.
Fair enough.
what
Fair
are you gonna
enough.
do?
No.
Also, they announced a new edition, like an
IP?
all-in-one edition. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
And I was like, God damn it! First of all, I
1.5
bought
plus 2.8.
I bought
equals-
Kingdom Hearts 1.5 on PS3, traded it in when I realized that they're releasing it on PS4 with 2, and now they're telling me they're going to release 1, 2, and 3 all together on one disc. I'm like, fuck, no.
Nick,
God
they've
damn it.
collectively released these games about 500 times.
I know,
How did you not expect this?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It
This
just-
was going
for
to
whatever
happen.
reason-
Didn't they already do these releases for this
Yeah,
generation?
they did. I own Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on PS4. I don't. Whatever. I mean, I guess if you haven't already taken the plunge and
a repack.
Square
1 and
Enix
2.
is worse about Kingdom Hearts re-releasing than Capcom is about Resident Evil 4.
God, they're just those Kingdom Heart fans are just
That's-
can't wait to have them dip their balls in their face
Yeah, they're
again.
double dipping and now triple dipping. Anyways, so yeah. And the last thing, Square Enix, a new IP from Human Head of all places.
Like,
Who are they
how are
again?
they still alive?
Human Head, the studio that was originally working on Prey 2, right?
Yes.
The Prey 2 that we were all very excited about a few years ago that never came out. But now they're working on a game called The Quiet Man, and this trailer didn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
I am always interested in new IP. I
It's
will
doing
say
that Need for Speed kind of transition between gameplay and then live action and gameplay
Yeah,
back.
first of
back
all,
forth.
anytime I see live action, I
FMV.
automatically raise my eyebrow. I'm not really interested in seeing live action in games, to be honest.
And also, I'm not feeling the name. Maybe because I know that the name has been used for movies before.
Sure.
Would have been worse. It could have been like that Bruce Willis movie, and they used Back in Black for the trailer.
Also, the trailer did not capitalize.
Yeah.
The trailer did not capitalize at all on like the hook of this game, which is that the main character is deaf, and they're obviously going to do a lot of stuff with like removing the auditory cues from the players. So like, and that could be genuinely interesting if you have to interact with the world and like combat and like do things knowing that you're completely deaf.
See, here's the thing.
That
They're
could be
interacting.
really
cool.
Your main character is deaf. This is careful territory you need to tread through, because
of course.
The deaf community, like, they should embrace the deaf community and they should go and work with them on that project.
And to be honest, as we find out more about this game, I would not be shocked at all if that kind of becomes the focus of their marketing when promoting this game. Or honestly, that probably should be the way they do it, assuming they did their homework.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We didn't watch the presser, so I don't know if they said anything about this, but Valinor says it's going to be a complete in one sitting experience. I don't know if that's true, but take that with a grain of salt. If that is true, I can't imagine any of these mechanics getting that deep.
Yeah. But I mean,
and the trailer had this weird kind of like knockoff John Wick vibe to it. I just,
Yeah,
not John Wick.
And also, I will say this, like...
No, but you know what I mean. Like, angry white guy is like a total badass and gets revenge on everybody.
But also, I think...
Who cares?
What does it mean to say it's a complete in one sitting experience? Technically, something like Hellblade can be a complete in one sitting experience.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not that many deep mechanics to Hellblade either.
True. But like, if a 3 to 4 hour experience that delivers a really interesting story and does some cool stuff with audio visual cues, could be really cool. I don't know. We're really gonna have to wait and see more. I think they're gonna show more of this in the fall, probably at Gamescom or something. Who knows? But the thing is, like, the trailer, aside from the fact that they were like talking shit to him, and the main character like touched his ear and was like implied like, I can't hear you. Like, they didn't really do anything that implied at all like how that was going to play into the mechanics of the game.
So like those dudes that he beats up, they go from like live action FMV to in game. But did the character ever have a live action counterpart?
Yeah, he did.
Or was
he?
Was he really?
Yeah.
That guy looked like he was rendered.
Yeah, he did. They might have done some like weird like visual touch-ups on him. But anyways, that kind of covers the Square Enix conference. I guess real quick.
Does?
Let's talk about what was not there.
All sorts of things.
What weren't there?
The Avengers. From Crystal Dynamics.
They just announced that game last year, though, so it's
but like
probably way too
you'd
early.
think like that would be even if it was just a cinematic trailer.
Oh, I feel
It doesn't really matter what point the development was. Like, you could put together a cinematic trailer for a game like this. Like, we got a cinematic trailer, quote unquote, for Starfield last night. A game that's probably 4 or 5 years away. Like, to have nothing to show to get people hype is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but I think that's just more understanding of their fan base and like what they're expecting and demanding.
So what you're saying is Square Enix is a little out of touch.
Square Enix is out of touch.
It seems like the
otherwise we would be getting a Deus Ex game. Otherwise we would be getting a more traditional Lara Croft experience.
It seems like the theme of the Square Enix event was that they didn't really say anything.
We also get a lot less
about the stuff they did say.
Yeah.
We would also get a lot less Final Fantasy 15 DLCs, which, by the way, did they announce any?
Not according to this.
That doesn't sound right in my head.
Nope, they did 14 things, but no 15.
When is that Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 3? When is
That's
that Half-Life one coming out? Is that already out?
Wait, what?
Half-Life DLC for 15?
Wait, is that really a thing?
Oh, that was a launch thing for the Steam version.
Oh, is that what it was?
But it was basically the hazard suit.
It was just salt in the wound. Okay, let's talk about Ubisoft. Again, not a whole lot to cover, but there's still some interesting things here I want to talk about. Just Dance 2019.
Who cares?
Really? Was that on there?
That's on there. I think
was there a dance number?
Damn.
I don't know.
Did dancers come out on stage again?
We didn't get to watch this live, and of course, we didn't go back to watch the trailer for Just Dance 2019. But I'm sure we'll see a shit ton of it on the show floor this week.
There will be a lot of dancing on the show floor.
We did, however, watch Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer, cinematic trailer. I will say this continues to look fucking beautiful. I think one thing that's kind of an interesting way to look at it.
All of the non-game.
Yeah, what Crispy at one point said, "Fuck the game, just give me this as a movie. This looks dope."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it
looked like it was. Those trailers looked like Blur.
It was like, and then they were like, "Oh, we have some gameplay. Check this out." And they showed like 30 seconds of gameplay, and it was like all cut up and montagey. And you know, I mean, this is still obviously like super early alpha.
Not only is it super early, it is such a super weird project because the big cornerstone of their announcement here, aside from showing like 30 seconds of gameplay, was they announced their partnership with Hit Record, which is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's company, which I think is honestly an interesting experiment. I kind of wish it wasn't for Beyond Good and Evil 2, but like the whole crowdsourcing of ideas and assets and like getting like art and like audio content and stuff to like feed into the game.
Yeah, but here's the thing there. It's a good idea in theory, but does it mean that Ubisoft owns that content when it's created?
I mean, you definitely sign a...
And do those creators get compensated for their work?
Yeah,
dude, I first of all, I don't know the answer to this question. Second of all, I'm pretty sure by submitting it, you are basically providing them the content, you're signing it over to them for the satisfaction of knowing you helped create the game and knowing your art is out there. I mean,
that's not good.
Ideally, the people who are taking the time to do this are invested enough in the game that they're not necessarily looking for financial compensation.
But when they say like crowdsourcing ideas, they're not looking for ideas. They're looking for like they're looking for filler content like decorations, like
they're looking for
sound
art
effects.
To use as like graffiti. They're looking for like audio content that will play on like radio stuff throughout the game. That kind of stuff.
See, they don't want to put writers and artists to work.
Okay, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Actually, a couple things. Hit Record's been around for a while now, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but I used to follow Joseph Gordon-Levitt on Twitter a lot, and I read a lot of his Hit Record stuff, and I always got the impression that they compensated artists.
Like if they do, then that's great.
I always got the impression that there was some kind of like they had things that they wanted to do, and they were outsourcing these ideas to people to make them, and then they were compensating them for doing that.
Persuaded Chat says that on Twitter, Joseph Gordon-Levitt said they'll get paid. So
so I guess that's
cool.
the case. So because it seems more like because he kind of, if you listen to what he was saying too, he was saying like this isn't a thing where like we hold a contest or we hold a cattle call of like, hey, submit your fan art or submit your this or that, and we'll put it in the game. Maybe it was more like, hey, come to us with ideas specifically to be used in this project. We will make something specifically for this and incorporate like I don't know. It seems more of like a come to us and we will make this specifically for this, instead of just like, hey, you guys do a bunch of work, send it into us and we'll paste it into the game for free, you know? I don't know. I mean, I could be overly optimistic here, but who knows? It's a weird thing. It's really difficult to wrap our heads around right now, and the closest thing we kind of have to go off are things like either, you know, the Steam Workshop, which is cool, but, you know, hit or miss, or like when Skyrim was doing like their DLC marketplace, remember? Like, and that wasn't cool, and we probably don't want another one of those. I don't know. Like,
I think it's another layer of complexity to an already really confusing project.
I think it's a risk. It's a huge risk, and you know, risks are great when they pay off, and you know, we all point and laugh when they don't. So I mean, I guess you want people to try new things and just see what does and what, you know, even just to see what doesn't work, you know.
It's really just going to depend on how much of that content is integrated into the game.
Right.
But like, here's the thing: like, I'm seeing a lot of people in chat assume that this means like they're running out of ideas and like they can't come up with their own creative content.
That's not. No.
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, from a creator's perspective, like,
you look at that fucking city and you're like,
they're trying to make the project exciting, and they're trying to guarantee the success ultimately when the game releases. So like, anything to kind of build excitement and community around this game is beneficial to the game ultimately. And
I mean,
I don't
expect this content to be too broad either, really.
Like, they're still doing the heavy lifting. Like, they're designing the world. They are doing the assets for the world. They're just asking people to incorporate their own personal, like, what the hell is that? Oh my god!
Just to do all that like random texture, like, you know, like visual texture work that do for the. Someone's getting murdered outside.
Is this what Tim was talking about?
Yeah. To do all that like extra visual texture work for like these really eclectic cityscapes that they want to build. Yeah, I mean, I wish we'd seen more quote-unquote gameplay or whatever. It still looks really tech demo-y. It still looks like, hey, we have a jetpack that you can fly around, and you can fly ships, and there's a button that punches people, but it doesn't, look like a game yet.
They're not going on quests. They're not accomplishing objectives.
I feel like this is like, I think it feels weird because we've seen it at 2 E3s now and like big press conferences, so it feels like, what is this? Oh my god, it's coming down the pike. I mean, like, this is probably at least 5 years off, right?
Dude, yeah.
I mean, this is a long play.
I wouldn't say it's 5 years. It's probably make 3.
Man. I mean, if
3 to 5, anywhere in that window is potential.
I don't know.
It's probably a next gen game.
I don't think there is, unless you are just like really into Beyond Good and Evil and you just wanted them to do a sequel that's like the original one, which I completely understand. I mean, I'm not a huge Beyond Good and Evil fan, so I'm not in that camp with you, but unless that is exactly what you wanted, I don't see anything that they've shown so far being like substantial enough to have any like firm opinions about it,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's really weird, but
it is bizarre. Apparently, they're doing didn't they say they're doing like another behind closed doors presentation or something?
Yeah.
E3? Yeah. Maybe we'll see if we can get into that. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't know. It could be weird. I mean, maybe all this fucking weirdness will produce something cool. So I'm hopeful.
It is at the very least. It's fascinating. Moving on down the line here, we had some Rainbow Six Siege content. To be totally honest, we didn't watch that. I don't know what to say about that at the moment.
Is it new opera? I honestly didn't watch it either.
I think this is a new mode.
A new mode?
I would say
it was called like hide and seek. What was it? Like ready when or
maybe someone in chat can point it out to us and we can watch it and talk about it tomorrow or something.
Come and
get me, Trials Rising. We all like Trials. Trials is fun. Trials
the future Trials, the last one they put out, wasn't that good.
I mean, there's a dud in there, 1 or 2, but
Evolution is fucking fantastic,
dude. For the most part, though, Trials in general is a pretty damn good series. So to see a new Trials coming out, that's always exciting. I think maybe they leaned into it a little hard for the press conference, but I definitely am curious to see. What was like the big hook for this one, or is it just more?
It's more traditional Trials.
Well, I'll take more traditional Trials. I do love Trials.
And it looks like they are really leaning back into the funny killing the rider thing. Yeah. Which was my favorite part.
Woo! It was goofy. Mario and Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure, they showed that. I will take any more Mario plus Rabbids they can give me. Looks cool. I'll probably be picking that up.
When have you ever said that in your life?
Mario plus Rabbids was dope.
That you want more of a Rabbids product.
I know, but that game was dope. I want more of it. Skull and Bones. I didn't get to watch this. Y'all watched it. What did y'all think?
It looks like more of what we saw last year.
Does it look like it's more of a polished experience?
I could only watch it. I didn't really hear what was going on, so I don't know what they were explaining. But just based on visuals, it looked a lot like. I mean, it looked like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
They were hunting down ships. They were shooting them. They were boarding them, and they were taking loot.
And it was like they would pull up to the ship, and there would be a prompt to board, and then there was a couple like
animation
shots of crew boarding and killing, and then it was like,
hey, you succeeded. You got this legendary chest,
which I think is kind of
lame.
Didn't they do something like wasn't there something like that in Black Flag too?
Oh, I don't. It's been a long time.
No, Black Flag. I believe you could actually
like but I thought like if I thought they had a thing.
What is this game gonna be like? Like, what is the? It's gonna be really interesting to see how this game competes in space with like it's gonna. I mean, it kind of has to compete in the same space as Sea of Thieves, doesn't it?
I don't think so. They're two different types of games.
I think everyone who's really jaded by Sea of Thieves but wants a pirate game will probably go try this.
It's Sea of Thieves is more of like a comedy kind of co-op experience game. This is like a ship combat game,
like a pirate simulation multiplayer game.
This is probably going to be like their new For Honor,
Yeah.
It's going to be this really niche multiplayer thing that
I keep forgetting exists.
People just forget about
within a few months
after
it
a while.
releases. I don't know. That game was recently delayed, so we'll see what happens with that in 2019. Moving right along to Transference. Elijah Wood came out on stage, talked about Transference, but it was announced
new VR
last E3 or the year before. I don't remember.
Last year.
Yeah, they announced it
and
last
last
year.
year we had no idea what it was. We got a little bit more of a taste.
We
this
assumed
year.
it was like an FMV.
Did we even know it was VR last year, or was this the first time we got?
I thought we did. I thought we
maybe.
did.
So they came out. They showed it's a weird, like trippy. I'm tempted to say horror-esque VR like story game,
Yeah.
where it looks like a father. Like it looks like the implication is that like someone is being hooked into like some kind of like
a child is being hooked into
like-
his father's
like
VR experiment.
It's almost like the father is hooking his son up to the Matrix, and you're like playing the child, and you're like trying to navigate that his like mental space. You know what I mean? It's really hard to describe. It looks trippy. It looks creepy.
I'll tell you one thing, and you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm getting Get Even vibes from this.
Get even. Oh, well, I'm not that I don't like what you mean by that. I'm just saying I don't have much to go on because I haven't played that. But
You should.
It's like Get Even, but not Eurojank.
That's kind of fair. That's actually honestly, that's kind of fair.
I will say this: I walked away pretty interested in what this game is. So, and honestly, like I said, like I've said many times, I'm a pretty big supporter of VR, especially in regards to like doing any kind of horror experience. So, if it is what I think it is, and that it has like light horror elements to it, I'm definitely gonna play this. It looks cool, even though it is confusing as fuck. Starlink, Battle for Atlas. I don't even remember the original announcement for this.
It was they showed off like toys that you could buy that were like amiibos basically.
Yeah.
They were fighters that you customized.
Yeah, and I guess the only big news here is that Star Fox is a crossover with Star Fox. Here's my question. I don't want to talk about this game for long, but here's my question. Is this the Star Fox content that was rumored before E3, or is that retro Star Fox Grand Prix game real? Are we going to find out about that tomorrow?
I say this is not the rumored Star Fox content, but I also say Retro is not working on that Star Fox project. That's rumored.
I'm pretty confident with the Star Fox Grand Prix thing. I think we're going to find out about that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm not going to make a hot dog bet.
Here's what I'm going to suggest, though. Why is it that Nintendo has to outsource Star Fox as a property to a third-party publisher developer in order to make a good Star Fox game?
Also, by the way, Big Bass has a good point. What if Transference is Camdrome?
No.
No? All right. You
The
heard it here
authority
first.
here says no.
You heard it here first. Not
Probably
Camdrome. They actually announced some new For Honor content. We don't know anything about it. I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about it. They talked about the Crew 2.
Did they?
They always
still-
talk about
Wait,
the
wasn't
Crew
there
2.
already a Crew 2?
Yes.
They were working on
Oh,
it.
we saw it last year.
Did they?
Yes.
Did they
That
actually
hasn't
make
come
it?
out yet?
It has not come out yet.
Have they made a good map of the United States yet?
One that doesn't look goofy as hell, like a fifth grader drew it.
Like you were having a seizure when you were making it?
The last thing I want to talk about, and I know Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Excuse me?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No, excuse me. The last thing you want to talk about?
At Ubisoft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were things.
Oh! I totally inadvertently skipped over the Division 2.
No, you purposely did that.
Your brain just like glossed over.
I totally
Yeah,
glossed
you're like
over.
Division 2. Nobody plays that. I don't know a single person who plays that game.
Oh my god, that is so funny. Okay, I'm sorry.
The biggest fucking joke about me on this goddamn website, and you purposefully like.
Hey, we all have jokes.
700 hours just to be denied.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, the irony is that I skipped over the Division because I wanted to talk about Assassin's Creed. Let that sink in for a second, okay?
Shit! But you love Assassin's Creed, Nick.
I know, but Chris Davis loves the Division. So
Yeah, I know. You both like bad games.
what did they show of the Division 2, and did it whet your appetite?
Well, they showed a cinematic trailer, and then they talked about one of the more important aspects of the game, the in-game content.
Yeah.
So now when you hit level 30 and you max out your level, you get to choose a specialization, which gets you a special weapon.
Yeah.
And it was the things they showed from the original gameplay demonstration. So you can get a crossbow, you can get a special sniper rifle, or you can get a grenade launcher. And then they announced that they're going to be doing 8-person raids in the game. And they had done what were called incursions before, which were basically they were basically mini raids for 4 people.
Yeah.
But this is going to be 8-player raids, full-on missions.
Did they say anything about the Dark Zone that I know you were
They didn't
curious
talk about
that.
the Dark Zone. That's the
They're
thing.
being very
They said the
elusive.
virus is no longer an issue in the game. So like contamination areas.
Like the crux of like what started this whole.
Well, yeah,
series?
Yeah, but it's like 7 months on after that. The virus has burned itself out.
People who are
much.
killed by a virus stay dead.
Yeah, viruses eventually will die out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good point. Also, Destrotor in chat says they announced 3 DLCs coming within the first year, and they'll all be free.
Yeah, and world events in between. So
that's cool.
Man, fuck it, cool. I'll try this when it comes out. And
Me
hate myself.
Too. Wait, do we know when this is coming out?
March 15th next year, which is 3 years to the day.
Redbox, help me.
Which is spring break for me, so I could like a whole week
look at that.
with it.
Perfect timing, Chris Davis.
And it's already
Perfect
gone.
fucking timing. All right, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the game we all know.
Odyssey.
I'm going to be playing.
Yeah.
Odyssey, 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 Odyssey.
I'm surprised they decided to just continue naming their game Odyssey after Super Mario Odyssey.
You know, why is it that Mario Odyssey didn't have like a ancient Greek level? It feels like it should have.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get some DLC for that tomorrow. Who knows? I think we're probably going to see some Mario DLC tomorrow anyways. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey 1, I will say this. I didn't have a lot of expectations going into it because the setting didn't really knock my socks off, you know what I mean? It didn't like tickle my balls like Egypt did when I found out about that.
Like, I mean, they teased this a while back with, Origins over a year and a half ago.
Sure,
like,
but it also just seems a little too familiar, like a little too close to things like Brotherhood.
It's a little too familiar, but more importantly, I think they're playing too much into the fucking Spartan thing. That's overplayed in media for years now. In my opinion.
I mean, I personally haven't played any games like that, but that's just because I don't tend.
But yeah, your character is a Spartan.
Well, yeah,
and
makes perfect sense.
And you fight at Thermopylae, against the Persians.
And this is also another thing where I feel like it has to do with. Maybe we should close that. I feel like maybe it has to do with I'm not super familiar with that time in history and that kind of stuff, but.
Well, there was a lot of tension.
I was a little more interested the moment I saw like the way the world looks. I think it's a beautiful world. Looks like it's gonna be fun to explore. I think the big thing here is they give you a choice between 2 characters, 1 male, 1 female. There's only 1 option. You play as Cassandra. I'm gonna be playing as a lady.
The guy's name, just for reference, is like Cassio or something like that.
I don't even remember. I just saw a lady and I was like, done. I'm playing as Cassandra. So yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Also dialogue. They did dialogue trees.
Dialogue. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I got it.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Keys are very important.
It might be on my bag.
They are needed to move vehicles.
So I'm gonna talk to Chris Davis here for a second.
That was a cameo by Chai's dad.
Don't crash the car.
I'm pulling it up in a driveway.
Oh. Cool. Yeah. Don't crash it.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Assassin's Creed.
They
showed Vesuvius, I think.
See, these are all things that I wouldn't recognize instantly.
Not Vesuvius.
And that's
Pompeii.
Yeah, all things that sound familiar.
Pompeii was the city that was wiped out when Mount Vesuvius erupted.
Gotcha. Where they discovered that guy who recently was.
Where they discovered all the bodies had been hit with ash so fast that they stood in place. They were basically statues.
Yeah, but didn't they also make a recent discovery of a corpse that looked like his head had been crushed by a giant boulder?
Yeah, that he actually may have survived the eruption, but
and then was killed by a falling boulder.
Yeah,
which for whatever reason, I guess the statute of limitations on mourning that person's death is over, and people just thought that was funny.
So here's to what I think we can expect from this game. Spartans, you're gonna have Thermopylae.
They showed a lot of like big like
you're gonna have Vesuvius.
Open skirmishes, right? Like big open. Yeah. It's like a big. There's a lot of people fighting, and you're kind of in the middle of this big battle. That looked pretty cool. It looks like obviously they're carrying over all the things that made Assassin's Creed Origins one of the best entries in the whole series that you should absolutely play. Even if you've given up on the series.
And they're keeping with what Origins did for like the fantastical elements. So there was a Minotaur at the end of the trailer.
Yes.
And I would bet money that they're going to go through the whole Odysseus thing for an act, but I think they'll also do Troy.
But do you think they're going to? Because like anytime they've done like the supernatural stuff. I guess the game does have aliens in it, doesn't it? I guess it wouldn't be totally crazy to say there's.
They're not aliens. They're not aliens. They're the first civilization.
I'm gonna give Chris Davis this look right now.
They were the species that was here that created humanity. They were here first.
But they're not humans. Okay, fine, Chris Davis. How about this? We're the aliens.
Aliens imply you're not from this planet.
Fine. Fine, I'll concede
There's
your point.
nothing extraterrestrial about this game.
I'll concede your point. I don't know.
I'm just saying, Troy might be a very cool thing.
Sure. I'm definitely way
Although if they do
more-
the Trojan horse, I'll be like,
I am way more. I mean, the thing is, they always take familiar moments in history and put their own spin on them, and that's kind of one of the appeals of the franchise. So yeah, they're probably going to do the Trojan horse. You're probably going to be in the Trojan horse, and
you're gonna invade the city of Troy and sack it, and
yeah, possibly.
Dude,
Anyways,
what if the city of Troy was like a Templar outpost city thing? It was a fortress.
Anything could happen, Chris Davis. Anything could happen. But all I'm gonna say before we move on is that I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to be kind of glazed over by a lot of people who aren't ready to go back to the annual release cycle, and that's maybe rightfully so. But I'm definitely more interested in this game after seeing it than I was when I first heard about the announcement. So we'll see what happens. It comes out October 5th, I think. So we'll
They
find
need
out.
to show some of the naval combat.
They do, and honestly, we'll probably see more of that throughout the week. I would be surprised. This strikes me as one of those games they're gonna be doing all kinds of weird demos for all week long.
Yeah, they released a map showing like the entirety of the map in the game.
Naval combat's a big part of this game now. Like naval,
2/3 of the map is ocean.
There was little bits of naval combat sprinkled through Origins, but like this game actually goes back to like you said, 2/3 of the map is like ocean, and you can travel on boats and shit.
Yeah,
like that's pretty cool. Let's move on. That was Ubisoft. Let's talk again about what wasn't there.
Yes.
Splinter Cell didn't show up at Ubisoft.
It was sneaky.
One of the most prominent leaks, or like one of the most prominent things that was on the Walmart Canada leak. Everything else at this point has been corroborated by like the actual announcements, except for Splinter Cell and Borderlands 3. And I don't think either one of those are going to show up tomorrow at Nintendo. What if Splinter Cell was announced tomorrow morning, Chris Davis, as an exclusive for the Nintendo Switch?
But why?
Number one, unrealistic as fuck. Number two, I would buy it, definitely.
Well, yeah, of course. Here's the thing. Splinter.
And number three, I would look forward to hacking my Switch.
Nintendo has forked over the cash to save fledgling franchises before.
This is not a fledgling franchise.
I think if you look at the past few sequels, it's been diminishing returns for that franchise to the point where maybe Ubisoft was not willing to throw in yet. Look what they saved Bayonetta. We got Bayonetta 2, and now we're getting Bayonetta 3, even though I don't think Bayonetta 2 was even successful enough really to justify making a 3. What if Nintendo was like, fuck it, we're gonna fork over some cash, and we're gonna make Splinter Cell?
I don't contribute a major Tom Clancy franchise like that to being fledgling,
at
as
this
you're
point,
describing.
That's the only way you're gonna get Splinter Cell at E3. That's the only way. I do see this could have been potentially like a Devil May Cry situation where they decided at the last second to pull the announcement and save it for something like Gamescom or something.
And then instead they put in Just Dance.
Well, that was always going to be there. That's always going to be there. All right. Who knows? I'm excited to see what Nintendo does tomorrow. Let's talk about PlayStation, because there's a lot more to talk about here. Of course, leading up to the press conference, Sony was very clear about they're going to be focusing on 4 major titles: Last of Us 2, Ghosts of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and Death Stranding. So I'm going to go right down the list here.
They all look pretty dope.
Let's talk about that Last of Us 2 gameplay trailer. One, I think it opens with a really beautiful moment.
Very nice moment.
Very nice moment between Ellie and what I presume to be her girlfriend. Which, one thing, I'll be honest, so if anyone who's played The Last of Us Left Behind, they kind of use that game to deliver some new information about Ellie as a person. Obviously, they announced that they use it as kind of a means of telling the audience that yes, Ellie is gay. And then finally, I was like so worried they were just gonna completely do that once in that game and then completely ignore it and never really go back to it and acknowledge it again. But they're totally leaning into it this game, and that makes me pretty happy. It seems pretty cool. It was a really beautiful moment too. They're having like the dance.
Yeah.
And then like the guy comes up and tries to like flirt with her, and she's like, and then her girlfriend comes up and saves her. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great human moment.
I didn't feel like he was
Followed
flirting with her, but
immediately
okay.
by this crazy pan around her head, and then all of a sudden it's a transition, and Ellie is fucking murdering dudes.
And then and she's murdering the cult that we saw in the second trailer.
We did talk about how like kind of brutal this game's looking.
Yeah.
But I think it's also worth pointing out that the other side of that coin, like the other bits of the trailer we saw, kind of paint the world as being a more stable, kind of safer place at some point.
Yeah.
Than we'd ever seen it before.
Yeah, obviously Ellie is older, and it looks like maybe
You're like 5-10 years older.
Yeah, and and Ellie looks. I mean, it just looks like maybe humanity is starting to find some semblance of like normal.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Life kind of thing.
Is it safe to assume that they're still in what's his face's like kind of where they leave off at the end?
His brother's place.
Yeah, I don't remember his brother.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty safe assumption.
I mean, they had a building that had power, so assume it's the place with the dam.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were set up.
They did so, and at one point when she's having that conversation with the guy that comes up to her, talk to her, I could be wrong.
He mentioned something about her old man.
Yeah, it sounded like she said your old man, and once again, no Joel to be seen. It's really looking a lot to me. It's looking a lot like Joel isn't alive in this.
No. The guy came up and said your old man gave me a time about you.
Yeah, but like that.
But he wasn't there.
That whole thing might have been like a. You know, kind of like between Last of Us 1 and like where we are in Last of Us 2 kind of thing. I mean, think about it. Like,
maybe.
Nice, happy, stable community in this post-apocalyptic fictional world. What do you do as a writer with something like that? You have it get burned down. Kill everybody. You know?
Yep.
That's probably what's going to happen.
I don't buy it all into this Joel is dead theory.
I mean,
the most I would concede to y'all is that maybe they kill him in this game, but I don't think he's dead. No.
I'm not.
What indication have they given you that he's alive in this game?
I'm not
the
into
fact that
like,
he was in the first trailer and he was talking.
I'm not into the whole like ghost Joel thing that people keep talking about. That's just asinine.
The ghost thing is not literal, right? People don't actually think
I know,
he's
but
a ghost.
even the narrative device of like he's gonna be in the game the whole time and she's gonna be talking to him because you know he's an aspect of her conscience or like what like that's kind of hack.
It's
so
derivative.
I hope that's not really.
It's derivative, but I think it would totally work. And like one thing they've demonstrated in this trailer is that like I'm already totally invested in this character, even though I don't really know what the context of her story is in this particular game. But like they're still delivering. Like I was like, oh, I missed Ellie so much. Like watching this trailer.
Well, I mean, we know it's a revenge story. We know that.
Yeah. What do you think she's getting revenge for, Chris Davis? What do you think she's getting revenge for, Chris Davis?
You're reading way too much into that.
I think you're choosing to ignore the obvious.
Yeah, I mean, in this world, like in the world of The Last of Us, what is something that happens to people pretty often?
Death.
I disagree.
They get horribly murdered.
Disagree.
And you're talking about. Let's move on from that.
Very violent.
One thing that was. Yeah.
That explosive arrow.
Was
something.
That was crazy good.
Crafting on the fly again. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The combat looked really like. I want to know how much of that was like player input, like having her like do those really slick like dodges and like ducking under like you know they were going for the punches or swinging knives. And
I want to contribute that to RNG.
What?
RNG. Like there's the system is randomly generating whether she actually gets hit or not.
I mean, like, but yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping it's tied to like button inputs that like allow you to like time it and dodge, and it's just contextual based on where you are in relation to that character or the environment. Like,
yeah, it
looked cool as hell. It's super fluid. It is the violence in the trailer was admittedly a little gratuitous, but I think a lot of that stems from the fact that there wasn't a lot of context to what was happening.
Yeah.
But the combat looks fun.
There's a part in it where she's running away from the cult.
Yeah.
And she starts running towards our cultist, and she runs by this wall and has a bottle on it, and she instantly picks it up and just throws it at the cultist and stuns them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the player had to do anything about that, or if it just like.
I think that was 2 button presses to do, but like
it looks fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
I'm still kind of shocked. This is the second post-apocalyptic zombie game where we didn't see any zombies, like no clickers, nothing. I mean, I know. Yeah. I didn't really feel like I needed to see clickers. Like we saw a tease of the clickers at the end of the
second trailer,
or second trailer. But I do want to see like what's changed with them.
I mean, you don't need to show that right now.
They don't need to. I'm just saying, like, I think of The Last of Us as more of a zombie survival game than I think about killing humans. Even though I think there's a pretty even divide of. Like,
I mean, I would
pretty even balance.
In my opinion, The Last of Us is a survival game where there just happens to be zombies.
Sure. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure they'll show this eventually. I don't even need them to really show it to me. I'm sure it'll be great. But yeah, I think the demo looked fantastic. Very nice narrative set piece too.
And still no release date.
No
or
release
even
date.
window.
I don't think this is I think this is a 2019 game at the earliest. Like I'm talking like holiday 2019.
Yeah.
They showed that Black Ops 3 DLC map announcement.
No, it was just old maps.
Old map, yeah. It was like it's 3 DLC maps for Black Ops. Wait. Oh, sorry. Black Ops 3 DLC map announcements for Black Ops 4.
Right.
Sorry. They were all old maps.
What they announced, the slightly more interesting thing is they announced Black Ops 3 is coming to PlayStation Now tonight. You know, or it's like PS Plus, one of the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, like, it's not fucking worth playing. It's not a good game. Don't bother.
We'll see what happens. Destiny 2, Forsaken, they showed a cinematic trailer for that. I kind of thought that was something they would maybe show more of, like, gameplay-wise, because that's been confirmed for a while.
Well, they were showing gameplay. Of Death Stranding?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Destiny 2, Forsaken.
Oh, Destiny. Yeah.
They
just showed that little trailer.
They basically just fucking murder, you know, one of the most popular characters from the game.
Yeah, what's that all about? What are you doing?
I like the art direction. I mean, it's Destiny. I don't.
Why?
Maybe they didn't feel like they needed to show any gameplay.
I bet you they're just gonna RoboCop him.
With his own gun.
I'm not complaining.
They're gonna
about
RoboCop him.
He's already a robot.
Well, they're gonna RoboCop him further.
Moving right along
Super
to the
RoboCop.
next big debut, we finally got to see Sucker Punch's Ghosts of Tsushima.
That looks so fucking good.
This
Yeah.
game looks so
Oh my
good.
goodness.
Not only visually striking, but we got to see like kind of the open world, like what it looks like. By the way, the lighting in this game, wow,
Jesus.
like super beautiful. But like you said, this is the year of samurai, like feudal
Action
Japan
games.
action games.
It's action feudal Japan games and the year of prosthetic limbs.
Prosthetic arms
Oh, there's
specifically.
been 2.
There's been
Yeah.
3.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. Ghost of
Tsushima.
no, not
Or
Ghost of
no,
Tsushima. Shiroku or
yeah, it's Souls
Sekiro.
Die Twice
Two,
or whatever.
Souls Die Twice.
Sekiro.
Stupid name, God.
Sekiro.
And-
Sekiro. And there was another. I forget what it
No,
was.
there wasn't.
There was.
You
There
made
was
this
a
up.
third.
You made this up.
There's
I did
2.
not.
So a lot of cool stuff here. They showed him running around the open world, getting into some combat scenarios. There was one scenario where you said it looked kind of like Red Dead. It reminded you because like
Yeah, because he was riding along on his horse, and some civilians just came running up out of
They're
the.
like help, and then he was like
Yeah,
okay,
and they ran off,
and then he challenged them to a duel.
which it seems like you didn't have to do.
Didn't seem like it, but like the combat looked great. A lot of really slick like dodges and like probably like button presses that you have to do to like to effectively dodge those. But like it all looked very seamless.
That
and
quick draw he did to like
Yeah.
fucking kill that guy. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
So good. They showed a grappling hook. They showed climbing on like a pagoda and then like sneaking through like the upper part of the building.
And it
then-
instantly felt like Tenchu
yeah,
for a
at
second.
that point it felt like Tenchu. In fact, but I see a lot of people saying that Sekiro is also giving some Tenchu vibes
Man, where
as
the
well.
we need a fucking new Tenchu game.
Well, this year we're getting a lot of games that might as well be
Yeah.
Tenchu-esque. But I think most, like, the final sequence where you kind of have this showdown with this person that you thought you were helping.
Fucking beautiful sequence.
Oh my god, like, cinematic marvel. Like, beautiful set piece, beautiful lighting, all these, like, red leaves falling through the air. Like, oh man, so
Yeah.
good.
Against the sunset,
Woo! I cannot
and the Mongols start shooting fire arrows in the air. And
I cannot wait to play this game.
Very cinematic.
I'm really shocked to see that Sucker Punch went from making something like Infamous, which I think was a great series in and of itself, but like it wasn't on this level. They've really stepped up their game, and honestly, that's probably they delivered some pretty successful games for Sony in the past, so they probably got a bigger budget for this, and it shows. They didn't say anything about a release date for this, did they? Or did it say 2019?
2019.
I think it said 2019. That at least makes me happy.
They didn't. So your guy is. Had they announced a name for him?
They call him. Was it what do they call? She says his Jin. Was it Jin?
I think
she says his name in the trailer.
Something like that.
In the
I
trailer.
thought it was Jin.
So I'm assuming that this is like before he becomes a ninja, because he looks like a Ronin samurai. But like in the first trailer, it showed him like becoming a ninja, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Hiding his face and covering himself up and being looking a lot more sneaky.
You're probably
Maybe he doesn't really, fit into your neat little categories, Chris Davis.
Wow.
Maybe you can't put him in a little box that says ninja or samurai on it. Maybe he's just like Jin, Maybe he's just who he is.
Maybe he's a person. Let's move on.
Oh, one more thing about that, though. The fucking weather.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like it has fucking promise.
Oh, my goodness.
And the thing about the Mongol invasions of Japan is that both major instances of that were both wiped out by typhoons at sea.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
The way they were putting that up, like if we see typhoons like that, that's going to be fucking gorgeous.
I just can't wait to play this game because I think the world looks gorgeous. I think the music just kind of, it just creates this really unique atmosphere that I don't think we've experienced much in like an open world setting. And the combat looks fun. Like, I don't know, this could be really cool. Like, even like the character interactions were really well animated and acted. Like, this could be great. Very, very excited. Next, we started to get into some surprises. And not really a surprise. I guess we knew this had to happen.
This is where they actually started showing a press conference.
Yeah,
but they didn't have anybody on stage the entire fucking time,
which is probably for the best.
But it just feels like they're doing another fucking Square Enix or Nintendo Direct thing.
But hey, I show up for the games, man. That's all I care. I don't care if they go on stage and talk about it or not. I just go there for the games.
Years from now, we won't be talking about the press conference. We'll be talking about the games, Chris.
We'll be talking about the musical interludes featuring dreams.
And we'll be going, what the fuck is Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Before we get to that, Control. The new game from Remedy.
The Remedy game?
Yeah.
Which we had an appointment for, but we didn't know what it was.
We only knew it was Remedy and it was their P7.
Yes.
Project 7.
This game looks very similar to
Quantum Break. I need to go back and finish that.
In terms of like mechanically speaking, I mean, it looks like it's borrowing from Max Payne and Quantum Break.
Well, also the visual design of it.
Yeah, but also, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like the world aesthetic. Reminded me of a cross between like Portal and PNO3. It's all very white and like the walls are like very geometric, and you're in some kind of like weird like. It almost looked like you were in like a puzzle like chamber, kind of like Portal. But she has this like weird gun that's like made of like geometric blocks.
Portal on DMT or something.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was really.
There was a rumored leak several months back about this project, and there was a rumored screenshot, and it was now that I remember it, it's almost the exact same as it was in the first opening shot of that trailer. So whoever leaked that, I need to go back and look at that information because they might know a little bit more than we know.
Good call.
Potentially. Female protagonist, that's cool. I don't know what we're gonna find out more about it. I know we're gonna get to see a live gameplay demonstration, so we'll find out. We will inevitably find out more about this tomorrow. So
it's a really good appointment, by the way.
Hopefully, we can come back tomorrow and have some more information on that for you guys.
Yeah, the powers, like the abilities that she was kind of very quickly showing off, did seem reminiscent of Quantum Break, but like maybe a little more.
They're definitely
extra.
It's very clear to me that Remedy's like bread and butter will always be the like slow motion
stuff. It felt like they really recycled like the character movement aspect of the combat from Quantum Break, but that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all.
But like the physics,
but it felt really fast.
Felt super fucking cool.
Yeah,
and like a lot of particle effects, a lot of shit flying in the air, and just it looks so cool.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. When are we seeing that?
Tomorrow, I think around 5.
Well,
shit. Maybe one of the last things we see.
So tomorrow night we'll probably have more to say about Control.
Hopefully we have some more details on that for you.
So we'll come back.
But then my biggest hype, like oh my god, my dream, Resident Evil 2 remaster or remake Whoever made this doc wrote remaster. This is not a remaster, guys. This is a fucking remake.
This is a full-on remake.
It's a remake, not a remaster, and they killed the rat. Why did they kill the rat?
Oh my god, they killed the rat, dude. Okay, so first of all, we finally get to see the rumored Resident Evil 2 remake, and they totally pulled a Resident Evil 7 on us. And they showed it, and then said it's coming out in January.
Pulled a tricky.
Which is exactly what they did with Resident Evil 7.
2 years to the date.
Beautiful. I'm so excited for this game. It looks super dark. It looks super beautiful. It looks like it's going to be third-person controls, kind of like Resident Evil 4. It's kind of hard to tell.
I mean, they haven't shown gameplay necessarily, but
Yeah.
there's like a couple shots where it feels like it's just right there.
Yeah, and apparently this is going to be playable on the show floor. So I'm going to make sure it's going to be my mission in life to play the demo for this.
It's gonna have lickers.
Lickers, which like the lighting effect in this game and the zombies look creepy as shit. But you start to see all these like landmarks that you start to see the police station, the Raccoon City police station, and then you start to recognize things.
And then the liquors,
you see, like teases of liquors and Mr. X and like
oh man, when the liquor was walking across the window real quick, like
oh my god, guys, I'm so fucking.
I love liquor.
I'm so fucking excited.
And it looks like a bunch of the geometry is true to the original.
Yes, I mean like,
but
the
way they were pitching this game was that it was going to be like an evolution, an expansion on that original idea.
Yes, but also like I think if you go back and look at Resident Evil 1 remake, the approach was similar in terms of they made some artistic changes to the way the mansion looked, but also like I think there's some pretty significant portions of the mansion that are laid out differently. Yeah, I think there are hallways in that game that didn't exist in the original Resident Evil. I could be wrong on that.
I want
new hallways.
New hallways.
New entire hallways for me to explore.
Yes, you're pushing me off.
Oh my god,
dude! All I'm saying is this game looked fucking dope. I'm so excited. Leon and Claire both. I think their character models look pretty cool.
They gave us a silhouette of Ada. They showed off Sherry. They showed off Mr. X.
Yep. So like there's even a tease of Mr. William Birkin in there. Tyrant. I wanted to see the Gator. Show me the Gator. Man, I can't wait, guys. I can't fucking wait for this game.
Damn.
I'm gonna move on though. I'm gonna move on because there's still more stuff to talk about. Trevor Saves the Universe. This was that weird thing that reminded me of the VR game that you played. The
Rick and Morty thing.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Squanch Games.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Squanch Games.
It's a good name though.
Justin Roiland's game studio. It's a Rick and Morty reference. You wouldn't get it, Nick.
Nope, I wouldn't.
I don't get it.
You're not
either.
nearly smart enough.
Is there anything more to say about it?
It looks like
the exact same thing.
People threw more money at Justin Roiland to do exactly what he does. So.
All right.
In VR, it looks fun. I'll try it. I really like the Counting Plus. Yeah, I don't know.
If you're a fan of that humor, then you're good to go.
It looks kind of fucked up.
Although you need a PSVR for it.
Was this the conference where they showed this Pirates of the Caribbean for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, then what did they show at Square Enix?
Kingdom Hearts.
I don't know.
No. Wait.
Well, they announced the exclusive console and the tri-bundle
Okay.
at Sony.
All right. Well, we've already talked about Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's move on to the real bizarre thing of the show, Death Stranding.
Woo!
The first thing we see is baby butt.
Yeah, that was funny. The baby, like, they did the whole baby in the throat thing, and then like the baby like turned around, showed his butt to the camera.
Gotcha.
He mooned us. He mooned us all.
Got him.
Guys, we still have no fucking clue what this game is.
Well, it looks like stealth is going to be a pretty big deal.
It's looking to me like this game is not going to be very combat focused at all. I could be wrong.
How do you punch a ghost?
Yeah, so like...
I mean, don't forget like from the second trailer where they had fucking Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen with the fucking World War II soldier skeleton things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think... dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Nobody knows what this game is. This whole trailer, this whole demonstration was very much like a lot of Norman Reedus carrying large backpacks. He looked like Chris Davis going to E3.
This is the Chris Davis simulator.
Yes, like...
that you've always wanted to play.
Except he was being really quiet about it.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
That was pretty good. The backpacks were were getting bigger in size and like being... it was bizarre.
And there was a variety of them. There was one where he was carrying like a person.
It was kind of cool. He was carrying it across like different landscapes and like
climbing
up
cliffs
giant hills and then he was like, and then some lady shows up and like shushes him and then he's like, I've got a plan, and he pulls out this weird light thing that attaches to his backpack, and he like puts the baby in the jar.
Yeah, it was the thing from that last trailer we saw. Remember that? Where they had those.
Yeah, and then he starts
like
the
baby, and he's like, boom, 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 and the baby's like looking around, like, "Yep, I got this."
I feel like that's the least efficient detector
Did y'all see
for
the
these
baby
things.
wink at you?
Yeah, the baby wink.
Like he puts like lights up the baby. It's like it was almost like the Ghostbusters when they turn on the proton pack, but he like turns the it's like and you see like the yellow like juice in his like chest compartment turn on. There's the baby floating in it. It was really weird.
I feel like babies are like batteries in this game.
And then the baby winked. Yeah, there's like weird submerged baby batteries.
And then there was all these ghosts that were like connected by umbilical cords and shit.
That have hands for feet.
The only thing they kind of confirmed that was a fan theory was that the rain in the world ages people.
Oh.
Like there was a drop that landed on his hand and it aged his hand.
Oh, weird.
And there was other weird time shit they were showing too, like when the monsters or whatever they were,
the hand
walking,
monster thing.
Yeah, like everywhere on the ground they touched like
flowers,
like plants and stuff started growing.
I'm wondering if this is like I think this has been said before, but I'm wondering if this is some kind of like afterlife. Like they found a way to explore the afterlife. You know what I mean?
Thanatonauts?
What is that?
Someone who explores the afterlife?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I will say this. I think I'm just as interested in the game now, but I still am no closer to knowing what this game is, other than it looks like stealth is going to play a pretty big part in it. We got to hear Norman Reedus doing some voice acting. They introduced Leah Sado, I guess is her name. She was I know her as the Bond girl from Spectre, the last James Bond movie, and she was also in Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
And who was the last one? Like Lisa Weaver or something?
Last actress, I don't actually know. I'm not familiar with
Somebody
her.
Google that, please.
But they introduced 2 new cast members, which was cool. I like Leah Sado. That could be cool. I don't know. I still have no idea what the fuck her role is, but nobody knows what anybody's role is.
Nobody knows what Guillermo del Toro is doing with this.
Yeah,
stealing babies.
Lindsay Wagner. Thank you, Gamerback in chat.
Lindsay Wagner. What has she done? I'm sorry.
I don't know. But yeah. What do you think? This looks cool.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
I'm on board.
I don't know any. I don't have any question, or I don't have any answers to any of the questions, but
it's fascinating. That's kind of what makes this exciting.
Yeah.
There are things about though that just don't feel like it's finalized. Like the camera is moving all over the fucking place whenever the character's moving.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like there's any combat in the game. That fucking detector thing.
Somebody said that Kojima in an interview had specifically said they tried to keep combat out of this trailer. They like intentionally did not show combat.
I have a feeling because once they show combat, I have a feeling like they have it to them. It feels like it's giving too much away.
Like the mystery goes away.
Yeah, they want to draw this mystery out.
I disagree there.
But they're gonna keep this the cards close to their chest. And
I mean, you're talking about it.
She was the bionic woman.
Who said that? I think somebody on the show said that. Maybe it was no one, but I kind of agree. Like, I almost would love to not really know what this game is until it's in my hands. Like, I would love to see more weird, crazy shit, but not have any idea what the gameplay actually is or the mechanics.
Oh, you're not gonna know for at least 10 hours into the game.
Yeah, it's possible. This could be a lot.
I mean,
who knows? Who knows?
Come on.
It was still cool to see more of it. I'm glad we got to see more of it. It looks cool. The next big surprise of the show, they announced Nioh 2. The third high-profile samurai game
out of fucking
E3
nowhere.
2018. By the way, guys, if I know a lot of people in chat are probably familiar with my time playing Nioh on the stream. It took me about a year to finish Nioh.
It did.
Well, you stopped playing for a while.
I did stop playing for a while.
You had some anger issues that you had to work out.
End, I felt so accomplished. I was so happy that I finished it, and I was like, all done. And now they're announcing a sequel. Fuck. But it was such a small tease. It's probably not anywhere. It's probably not. I would be surprised if it's even next year. It could be like 2020. That game is amazing. You should absolutely play it.
I'm honestly surprised they showed that instead of Dead or Alive 6.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I think they recognize that more people probably want to see Nioh 2. I think that's more of an interesting announcement.
No, I agree. Yeah.
But
it's got that pop. It's got that sizzle.
I am hoping. This is what I'm hoping for because I think Nioh is like a damn near mechanically speaking, it's a damn near perfect game. What I'm hoping for is that Nioh 2 does something different with the world structure.
Sure.
Okay.
Like I want to see like
just like the chapters.
yeah, I want to see like Neo structured like Dark Souls 1, or even Bloodborne maybe. I don't know, but like
It's like Neo meets Dark Souls.
But that's like much more
lean into the
to
skin.
do.
Just make it more of a Dark Souls clone. Like just keep doing it. I don't even care. Neo is amazing. I would love to play more Neo. I just want the world. I'm not a huge fan of the chapters thing. I would like to move away
that's a
from
good idea, and that's something
it.
they
It
should
worked
work
great for an
towards.
original IP, but like,
But that's a fucking undertaking.
absolutely. But like, they did this to themselves when they decided
Take it
to make,
under.
Like the thing is, they took it upon themselves to make a Dark Souls clone, but they knocked it out of the fucking park.
It didn't start as a Dark Souls clone, though. It's been developed. It was in development for 10 years.
Well, you know what? Now they have it figured out, so they can focus on doing things like.
So the first one took them 10 years to make. This one's gonna take them 10 months.
But here's the thing, like.
Things like that happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if the chapter structure of that game carried over from what that game originally was. Like, there are probably bits and pieces of the whatever Neo started as that made it into the final product, and I would be shocked if that was not one of them.
I guess we'll see.
Yes. Next, they talked about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Which we all continue to be.
I thought it was really good.
Yes.
I thought it was a really good
asking.
demonstration.
I know you were asking.
I was actually asking.
I thought it was really good. I question. I always, with games like this, question the wisdom of making your big feature presentation of it be like this, like what we saw was a story-based mission that takes place in a location that you may not go to that often.
Yeah, I think everybody wanted to see Swinging Around New York.
Right, but it was really cool because it was the Raft, this big supervillain prison that's in the Atlantic off the coast of New York.
Yep.
He goes out there, he runs into a bunch of his old buddies, like
the
Rhino,
Vulture, Scorpion,
Electro.
And then, it seems like they're kind of getting close to teasing the Sinister Six, even if they, like you said, they may not ever say that. But like they've almost got a full roster there.
It depends on which incarnation of the Sinister Six you're talking about, Nicholas. I'm joking. But it looked really cool. Like the combat and the swinging mechanics in that level or in that mission that they showed seemed really neat. It was very articulated to the environment, the swinging, which is kind of cool because he's just kind of swinging over the ocean from like these towers.
Yeah.
It looked fine.
Yes.
It looked very fine. It wasn't lighting a fire under my ass or anything. It wasn't like, it wasn't,
because it felt like a side story, like a side mission.
Right. It really felt like kind of like something that's going to be like an aside. It's like this isn't going to be representative of the
full experience.
Yeah,
this is a
90%
mission, but
of
it's
your,
not like something you're going to be doing
right.
often.
I think they wanted to show something that was visually different than what they had already shown.
But that's why the footage that we saw later of him swinging through the city made the game
really
much
cool.
much better.
Like Brad had said something in chat about how it looked like a Spider-Man game, which, thinking about it, what they showed, that footage from the presser, what they showed, really, like, I kind of had that same thought at one point too and kind of pushed it down deep, but but yeah, like that kind of linear level where you're floating around these just kind of generically sci-fi looking environments, like it does look like something we've gotten a lot of from more mediocre Spider-Man games, you know. I would like to see just kind of more of like what the world's like and what you're going to be doing most of the time, not like the 10% of the time that you're engaged with the story mission.
I think they really wanted to highlight villains, and they figured
they wanted
showing the breakout of the prison was the perfect way to show some villains.
Because it looked like in the context of what was going on that like Mr. Negative was orchestrating a breakout of all of Spider-Man's foes, and giving them new gear and stuff like that. By the way, all the voice work for the villains was like real hammy and really kind of hacky, and I fucking loved it. It was great.
That was good.
It was really good. But like not in a super uber serious way, but it was cool. I mean, Scorpion kind of sounded like an angry nerd. He's like, Spider-Man! I loved it.
Absolutely. I definitely wanted to see more villains. I don't know if those are the villains I wanted to see the most, but it was cool to see villains.
I kind of want to see some allies, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's gonna be really exciting if and when they're like, hey, Johnny Storm's in the game, you know, or you know,
that's
like,
gonna start making it feel like Ultimate Spider-Man.
I'd like to see them do some.
I mean,
stuff.
because that's the thing, like Spider-Man is part of a larger universe, and he's in New York, and everybody in Marvel is in New York just about. So, I mean, like, you should be seeing things like the Baxter Building. He should be running into people like Doctor Strange or
Daredevil.
the Fantastic Four or Daredevil even, you know, like, if he ever makes it out that way. To Hell's Kitchen.
This is an exciting project. It's an exciting fucking project.
There's a lot of potential for crossover. We don't have any details on, you know, what Sony has the rights to or what they can and can't use in a video game, but it would be really cool if we got to see some of that other Marvel stuff kind of mashed into it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm super excited. They actually closed with Spider-Man.
That was not what I expected.
Not what I was out of all those four. I figured they wouldn't. That was probably the one I least expected them.
I figured that'd be like a
with.
middle piece.
Yeah. But they closed with Spider-Man. They did make one other announcement after the conference ended. They did a little thing where they showed another From Software game called Duracine. Duracine? Daracine? I don't know.
Something like that. It's a VR game.
Yeah, it's a VR game from Software, which looks like a
Daracine, I think.
Daracine.
And it's the least violent thing we've ever seen from Software.
It looks like a VR walking simulator from Software. Which
who knows
that's cool.
what the hell that's like.
Man, they've got a lot of projects they're working on.
They have earned so much goodwill in the last 5 or 6 years. Who fucking cares what they put out? I'll try it.
So yeah, that kind of concludes the day. I think it was a pretty good day.
But we didn't see anything about Left Alive, that new Front Mission game, which seems like it could be fucking dope. We did not hear the words Rocksteady at all.
I know, that's my biggest...
Although we thought it for a half second.
That's my biggest disappointment of the show.
Right, when they showed the raft at first, I was kind of thinking, well, no, that had nothing to do with Rocksteady, but when they first showed the raft, I was kind of thinking like, oh, is this an Avengers thing? But no, it was Spider-Man, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel foolish for even thinking it could be anything else. But you know, the Walmart leak had a couple things like Borderlands 3 that we haven't seen anything of.
Splinter Cell.
Well, yeah, Splinter Cell.
I mean, the thing is, anything could show up at Nintendo as a multi-platform game that just maybe Nintendo...
That's weird, though, right?
That's weird.
I mean, especially for the kind of franchises, the kind of IPs that we're talking about specifically.
But, like, I never would have expected the sequel to Bayonetta to show up in Nintendo Switch.
Okay, but
they bought that.
That was surprising in the moment, but when you thought about it, it was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense because Platinum's not a big studio. They don't have a lot of financial support. They are exactly the kind of people that Nintendo could step in and be like, hey, this is something we could put on. Like I do not see that happening with a Rocksteady game. I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm just saying. I'm not saying this.
Not that you know the Batman Arkham.
I'm also not saying
City
that we're
was on.
I'm not saying we're going to get
Origins.
Rocksteady tomorrow. Nintendo as like a Nintendo
Was
Switch
on the Wii
exclusive.
U.
But I'm saying it is possible maybe Nintendo paid the money to have them announce it there with some exclusive content for their platform.
I don't even know why Nintendo would want that.
I don't know. I'm just saying the only way we're going to get Borderlands 3,
no NetherRealm
or Rocksteady is if it happens tomorrow morning, and I think the chances of that happening are like less than 10%.
The only like big WB games representation I've seen so far has been that new the Lego DC villains or whatever.
That's a good point though. Roger brings up a chat. No NetherRealm title either.
Yeah.
No
and it's about time for Mortal Kombat 11.
Wow. Yeah, they just released their legendary edition of Injustice 2.
Gamescom's in August.
That's true.
So there'll be more announcements there. And like I said earlier, I think there's a lot of these projects who were contemplating doing an announcement and maybe decided to pull out last minute. Because what if Walmart Canada fucked us and like they were like, well, leaked. Fuck it. We're not gonna show it now.
I'm still holding out hope. Okay, I'm still holding out hope that tomorrow Rocksteady is gonna be like, oh wait, one more thing.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Bisk does say Warner Brothers is publishing Hitman, which is true. I wouldn't be surprised if Hitman's playable.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow.
that's true.
Oh, it will be. There's no doubt. It's coming out in November.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, that concludes our next E3 podcast. If you missed yesterday's podcast where we talked about Microsoft and Bethesda and Devolver Digital, you can find it on 4playernetwork.com. It's available. This episode, if you missed it, will be available tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. So check that out if you didn't get to catch the entire show. Tomorrow we're going to be on the show floor all day long. We got appointments to see Dying Light 2 and Remedy's new game, Control. So we have some stuff to see tomorrow, and we're going to go play as much stuff as we can, and we'll report back tomorrow. We'll be recording another podcast when we get back, probably after we eat dinner. So we will keep everybody posted. If you're not in our Discord, we would love to have you in Discord. It's discord.gg/4player. We don't have the greatest service necessarily when we're in the convention center, but when we're outdoors and walking in between the conference halls, we'll probably check in Discord.
Yeah.
We have an E3 2018 channel in there, so hop in there. We'll be talking with people all week. And yeah, you can find all of our coverage on the 4playernetwork.com. You can also find details if you're in the LA area and you want to come to our community meetup on Thursday. You can find the information on the front page of the site. Just scroll down a little bit below the banner at the top of the page and you'll see a link for it. We'd love to see some of you guys out there on Thursday. But yeah, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had earlier this evening, but we got through them.
They're mostly ironed out, so
all
we'll
in
be good
all,
tomorrow.
I'm pretty excited. I think it's still, despite some high-profile missing things, I think this E3 overall has still been pretty exciting. So yeah, join us tomorrow morning. The Nintendo conference is at 9. We're set up now, so we should be able to go live shortly before that, and we'll live commentate that, and then talk about our impressions of that on the podcast tomorrow night as well. So I guess we're gonna probably shut this shit down. I gotta get to editing this podcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Good night.
Good night, and thanks for watching, listening.
Love you.